Dude, I was gone from YouTube for about 4 months. And since then, Mark left NCT and then got cancelled. Winwin finally left Wavy. You know from ATEEZ broke up with his girlfriend, which we didn't even know that he had. NewJeans Summer! But at what cost? And while we left off with Heeseung or Evan, I'm gonna call him a little bit of both. If you have a problem with that, you have serious issues. Anyway, so yeah, the last video that I posted was about Heeseung or Evan allegedly leaving ENHYPEN on his own. There's some updates, kind of, and like weird things that I have noticed ever since, you know, and I'm gonna be talking about all of that today. I'll be going over all of that and more in today's video. And if you were wondering about the boys and the boys' situation, because you guys, if you are frequent on my channel, you guys know that I have been updating, talking about that and their situation, their battle with their company, them, Joo Ha-yeon's situation also. I've been updating that, and I will update that in a separate video because that alone, there's a lot to go over. In other words, I will be updating that too, but just in a separate video. I don't know if that's gonna be before or after this one is uploaded, just so like an FYI if I haven't uploaded it yet. Okay. Yeah, so grab a snack and enjoy today's video. This is enough rambling with Eve. Okay, so I think I want to start off with ENHYPEN and whatever updates there have been since my last video, which was about Heeseung leaving. Now, I am not here to tell you what to believe and what side to be on in any of this drama, because in my honest opinion, I don't care. I really don't care which side you're on. If you support ENHYPEN as 6 or if you support them as 7. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you one is better than the other, but I am going to tell you how weird it has been. But, however, I do like ENHYPEN and was very upset when things changed. Okay, so basically at a concert, Jungwon had told fans to do the fan chant correctly or something along those lines since people were including Heeseung still like in the... Okay, so ENHYPEN are on tour right now, but they're on tour without Heeseung because Heeseung left in March. People have been including Heeseung in the fan chant still, like even though he had left. And Jungwon had said basically along the lines of, hey, can you please do the thing correctly? And I'm gonna pull up the video right now. I will say though, I don't think it's a big deal that people were mentioning Heeseung or including him. It was not disrespectful in my opinion because he was also part of those songs. He also participated in the recording process, and he was once part of the group and he was part of making those songs. So in my opinion, I feel like it was actually kind of respectful to give him credit for that too. You know. He said, guys, I also want to say, actually, there's a lot of reasons why I'm going to say this live. It feels like something that I can't just let slide, so I'm doing it. This can be translated on Weverse, right? It seems like there are so many people who there's still so many people who love the old ENHYPEN. Even now, it feels like there are still a lot of people in denial about the current ENHYPEN, and that might be because, well, up until now, we haven't said it clearly, you know? Like, there are people saying we haven't given a clear explanation and a ton of talk about how many members we have. But of course, I totally understand, I totally get the feelings of those people who loved the old ENHYPEN, but now ENHYPEN is 6 people. I get it with the people at the concerts, with the fan chants too, because up until now, we haven't given you all that clarity. I can understand. But because of stuff like that, engines end up fighting each other. It's really uncomfortable to see, if I'm being honest. It's super disruptive during concerts. Super. For real. Honestly. Because now I've said it clearly, going forward, for those who truly love and support ENHYPEN, you probably already know how to do how you should act, right? I'll say it clearly as possible so it's not unclear later. Going forward, stuff like ENHYPEN and I is basically just stirring up fights amongst NewJeans, and no one wants fights like that within the fandom. The company doesn't want it, NewJeans definitely don't want it, and especially us six don't want it. So going forward, for anyone who stirs up this conflict, I'll consider them not part of the fans. Actually, I opened this live to talk about this as a representative of the members too. The six of us are all on the same page. We hope things like this don't happen again. I'm serious. Like I said, honestly, it's super disruptive during concerts. No matter what, there are people who spend money to come and watch. It takes time and it's an expensive concert. It's already unfair to those who come. So yeah, I hope you stop. The translation is going, so you all definitely get it. But that doesn't mean I'm saying that Brazil and Peru concerts weren't good, okay? The concerts were amazing, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming ones too. Guys, I've said it definitely, right? This is me speaking as a member, as a representative of ENHYPEN. Stop. And I hope that you can sort out your thoughts properly when it comes to doing things. After all, we're all ones doing our work for ENHYPEN. So it's for NewJeans. So it's really uncomfortable to see when you guys fight like that. That is what he said. So put it simply, I'm guessing he's literally just saying, guys, let's calm down a little because, like, you know, if you guys are doing all of this and it is causing fights, it's not worth doing it. And I understand. I understand, because if you are an artist on a stage, imagine you are an artist on the stage, right? And your fans are just fist fighting in the fucking 6th row, whole fucking fight. Like, hair is being pulled and shit, and you're sitting there and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you feel like a sense of responsibility because that is like your people, you know. And he also said, if it's like this, could it be that someone might create a narrative like he must have been told to say something like that or something? Nah, right. This is just from my own thoughts, guys. If a narrative like that really comes out, whoa. If a narrative like that comes out, I think that person just wants to be there to be drama with fans. But the thing that I've noticed since Heeseung left is how divided the fandom is now. Because I also like ENHYPEN, right? So I am also aware of the happenings inside of the fandom. Like, it's really divided. I've never seen it truly divided like that before. Regardless of how I think about Heeseung leaving, if he really wanted to leave, if whatever, because I really don't think he wanted to, but that's my opinion! That's my opinion! When Jungwon said what he said, those who support ENHYPEN as 7 saw, or at least most of them, saw it as betrayal. As if he said, oh, and OT7, you're all ugly and stupid, ha ha ha. But then, on the other hand, those who support ENHYPEN as 6 saw it as validation because they were in fact the ones saying those things and not Jungwon. Those things as in the OT7 is stupid and ugly. I feel like I'd always say that because I don't want to have like a bunch of angry engines in the comment because I'm not trying to like be disrespectful or mean or whatever, but let people grieve. Let people be upset that Heeseung is not there anymore. We found out shortly after Jungwon told people that there was in fact a physical fight in the crowd that night, the night before, which was caused by the fan chant, and Jungwon just wanted to prevent that from happening again. Then, and that's understandable because, I mean, that probably scarred him and the person who got fought. But I think it's just so stupid. I don't understand why it has to be so aggressive. I don't think it's a big deal that they were mentioning Heeseung. I really don't think it was a big deal that they were mentioning Heeseung. Like, it's like, you would think the guy did a crime and he was like, he who shall not be named and whatever. yeah, I personally don't think it's a really big deal. I think it's like such a non-issue. But people started fighting because there are those who support OT6, which if you are frequent on this channel and have been since everything happened with Rise's Seunghan, well, ex-member Seunghan, you know, when everything happened back then, this was very similar. OT6 were always beating up OT7. They also sent the guy death threats. Heeseung didn't do anything. You know, I'm sure you who have working brain cells will understand where I'm coming from, right? I'm not over here being like, oh, it's up to you if you still want to support them now or not. It's up to you. Like, I'm not sitting here being like, yeah, well, if you support them, then you suck booty. Oh, but if you don't, you're also a fake fan. Then Heeseung had released a debut documentary, or B-Lift did. I'm honestly not sure what B-Lift thought it would do if you released that. If it would have been like, what's it called? Damage control, or like distraction from everything else that's happening, or to try to brainwash the fan. I don't know what the I'm sure it was just like for content, but the stuff in the content is what made me, because I watched it and I noticed the same things that other fans were pointing out that was really weird. Like Kim Tae-ho, which is the CEO of B-Lift, said the goal we have to reach is convincing why Lee Heeseung went solo. The public has to be convinced. Convinced of what? Like, my thing is, like, we wouldn't need much convincing if the circumstances around his departure weren't so fucking weird. You know, like, there's so many things that just doesn't add up, that I feel like it was just like out of nowhere. We don't know if anything happened internally. Maybe Heeseung said something that upset the higher ups or some shit, and they were like, get out of the group, bitch. But then again, like, they would have just kicked him out of the company. So I really don't get it. I don't get it. And I also noticed when Heeseung wanted his debut track to be the song Immature and not Ride or Die, which was the song that they did go for, as the title track. And I remember he was the only one that said that he wanted Ride or Die to be wanted Immature to be the track, and everyone else was like, no. And then he was like, okay, well, can we, like, make another song? Can I make another song then? Like, can I do that? Because I don't know if I want Ride or Die to be it. And Kim Tae-ho laughed and said, do you think we have time for that? Okay, bitch. Like, sure, he laughed when he said it. I'm sure he didn't mean it, like, in, like, a... But that was... Watch your tone. Watch your tone, bitch. Watch your tone. Then when he was recording Overflow, and he said during the recording session that he feels like he isn't enough because he was working with a guy named Wyatt. Wyatt had asked him, hey, like, should we make the song about a girl, or like, what do you want the song to be about? And Heeseung said, oh, maybe about myself and how I feel like I'm not enough. Someone check in on that guy. I'm just a lot of red flags, man. I just feel like if the circumstances around his departure and the alleged mistreatment of ENHYPEN weren't so weird and fucked up, this wouldn't be a discussion. Jay also said something along the lines about, hi, there's 6 of us now, and I just have one thing to say about the members speaking out, and it's that everything they say or do is likely heavily monitored. If Jay were to say anything else, he could have gotten in trouble. But then again, he probably didn't even mean anything like shady or weird about that either. He probably also just didn't want fights to happen. You know, knowing that there were physical fights going on, I can understand how that would be something that is heavy on the members' minds, because they're trying to do a show and everybody's like fighting each other, you know. And they had an appearance at Comic-Con as their concept and lore as a group is inspired by a webtoon, hence the vampires and all that. I think it's called like Dark Blood or some shit like that. Dark Moon. Red Moon, Dark Moon, something like that. I watched an episode of it, and then I also like read like 2 pages of the webtoon, and I did not like it. And I swear, it's the one time they come to my city that there's hoopla everywhere. But in the promotions for this and the flyers at the con, they had excluded Heeseung, which was Heeseung's character. Now, I didn't read or watch all of the webtoon or anime, but I do know that the main girl annoyed me and a lot for some reason, and Heeseung was like the most prominent in the beginning at least. So fans kept joking and being like, did they kill Heeseung? Also address this. What am I addressing? Hold on. Jungwon said, Jungwon about Fate Plus tour. For us ENHYPEN, it was so grueling that we felt like we were going to die. The hardest part was the set list. It was brutal. We felt fear just thinking about putting on the show outfits. We thought, we'll do our hardest to hold on today. So, one of the main reasons why people wanted to boycott ENHYPEN, and I'm going to say this preface this by saying that I'm not telling you to boycott ENHYPEN, that you should be doing that or you shouldn't be doing that, or if you want to then you're stupid, if you don't want to then you're also stupid. I'm not trying to say that, like, I'm not sitting here to tell you what to believe, that is up to you. Whatever you decide to do, that's on you. I'm not sitting here. I have no power to tell you what to do and what to do. Anyway, so one of the main reasons why they wanted to boycott ENHYPEN and HYBE as a whole is because of alleged mistreatment amongst, like, about the boys. Because I remember, I have like a vivid memory of like their tour. I don't think this was their Fate tour. I think it was the one before that. Either way, there was one of them where Jay had like injured his knee and he wasn't able to get help for it until like towards the end of the tour, and he got like knee surgery and he still had to perform the next day. I'm sure maybe it was his choice to perform the next day. I don't know what his like type of like mindset is, if he's like one of those people that's like, I can't stop for nothing, the show must go on, or if it's the company making him do that. We don't know, man. We don't know. Either way, he should have been able to rest. There was like a bunch of other stuff, and recently also HYBE or B-Lift said that they hold on, let me read to you this thing that they posted. It's in Japanese, but there was a translation here. A Japanese financial article just dropped an analysis on ENHYPEN's current situation, and honestly, the business side of this is crazy. Here's what's actually going on behind the scenes. 1. The 6-member transition. The August comeback, the Sin Bliss, is their first since Heeseung's departure. With all the fandom's tension, Jungwon basically drew the line on live saying ENHYPEN is 6 members now. I will say he did say that just to stop the fights though. Most likely, because if people were just saying ENHYPEN is 7, ENHYPEN is 7, ENHYPEN is 7, and nobody gave a fuck, like, that would have been different. But Jay's live stream, I'm thinking about that too. Back in April, he did like a birthday live stream, and he told people to stop commenting ENHYPEN is 7. He said ENHYPEN is ENHYPEN. I don't care what number we are. But don't comment that on people's lives, like members' lives, especially on their birthdays, because that's like weird. Don't do that. But then, like, that's also valid. Like, B-Lift's money machine. B-Lift Lab, 100% owned by HYBE now, pulled insane net profits last year, even outperforming big hit music. My take / investor angle. This comeback isn't just music, it's a massive test for Wall Street / financial analyst. HYBE is trying to prove to investors that ENHYPEN as a brand is bigger than any single lineup change and can still print money regardless of boycotts. Basically, the financial media is watching closely to it to see if the fandom boycotts have actually hit their bottom line, or if the brand is too big to fail. The real truth behind Hype's tragedy soon strategy is that pushing this comeback so fast despite the fan backlash, Belift is making a very cynical, calculated gamble. They aren't trying to calm the fandom down, they're trying to filter it. In modern K-pop, agencies want to prove to financial markets that their groups function like franchises. Think Marvel. If this comeback still proves 2 million copies despite a major member leaving the group and fans boycotting, Belift proves to investors that the audience is hooked on the ENHYPEN brand itself, making individual lineup changes business as usual. Essentially, they're using the comeback to test if emotional fan loyalty has turned into automatic consumption that even outrage can't stop. So basically, Hype or Belift, I'm guessing they're pretty much the same thing now, is just they just view ENHYPEN as products as they do their other artists too. Which, come to think of it, if that's what they're doing with ENHYPEN, I wonder if that's what they're doing with like other groups too, where members have mysteriously vanished. Cat's eye. NewJeans. You get what I mean. Like, I wonder if they're doing this on purpose to see if the group will flop without a member or not. But another thing, unrelated to Heeseung, but about Jungwon, and it's about the fact that he was under fire for wearing a shirt from the movie Borat, which is a movie that set disgusting stereotypes and made fun of Kazakhstan, and made Kazakhstan a laughingstock, and fans showed visible distaste in it. Not even a full day later, Jungwon apologized on Weverse Live, and it was good. This was the apology. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to read it to you. So the reason I actually went live today is the t-shirt I wore yesterday seemed to make people uncomfortable, and I genuinely didn't know. I thought it was just a regular t-shirt, but apparently it's related to a movie that many people in Kazakhstan find very offensive. I heard it's black comedy that portrays them in a bad way. Yes, the t-shirt had holes in it. I didn't know about it yesterday, but after seeing some people were uncomfortable because of it, I'd like to apologize first. I threw away the shirt immediately. Even if I didn't know it, if it made people uncomfortable, it's still my mistake. So I'm sorry. I got rid of the shirt right away. Actually, I wanted to apologize first thing this morning before the concert, but when I checked the time in Kazakhstan, it was still the middle of the night, so I thought it'd be better to go live when people there would actually be awake to see it. I think it's around 8 or 9 a.m. there now. So as soon as I got back, I started this live. I'm sorry. I'm sincerely sorry, and I'll reflect on this. I'll delete the TikTok video too, also. Also, I found that the person who created the dance is also from Kazakhstan, the choreographer. I truly had no idea. I'm sorry. I really didn't know. I'll be more careful from now on. My thing is, in K-pop, whenever anybody does something fucked up and stupid, like wear like a shirt that is offensive, I will be talking about Marky Mark in a minute, but their apologies are usually so half-assed. Or if it's like just racism in general, they're like, apologies are like, sorry guys, I didn't know. And it's like the one thing that you probably should have known. Like, it's She was giving ignorant and stupid. Now, as always, it is up to those he offended to say whether or not the apology should be forgiven or if whatever. But it was not a half-assed apology. He said directly what he did wrong and how poorly educated he was on it. And he said directly to the people he offended. And he literally waited until he knew that they might have been awake to see the apology, not just out of nowhere, because he didn't want it to seem insincere also, which is also just like a very, like, good job, Jungwon. Good job. And he threw away the shirt immediately and would never do that again, and I will include the full clip of his apology right now.
어제 입은 티셔츠가 불편한 분들이 좀 계신 것 같아서 제가 그걸 몰랐어요. 티셔츠 의미를 그냥 티셔츠인 줄 알고 입었는데 그 카자흐스탄 분들이 되게 불편해 하시는 일단은 사과를 드립니다. 그 티셔츠는 바로 버렸고요. 사실 몰랐어도 불편한 분들이 계신 거면은 네 그래도 제 잘못이니까 죄송하고 티셔츠 바로 버렸어요. 오늘 아침에 사실 바로 사과를 이렇게 하고 싶었는데 공연 전에 사과를 하려 했는데 카자흐스탄 그 시계를 보니까 새벽이더라고요. 그래갖고 이긴 하지만 지금 한 8시, 9시 그쯤인 걸로 알고 있어요. 근데 좀 보실 수 있는 시간대에 라이브를 하는 게 나을 것 같아서 지금 오자마자 라이브를 켰고요. 진심으로 죄송하고 반성하겠습니다. 틱톡도 삭제할 거고 그 분도 카자흐스탄 분이시더라고요. 그 댄서 그 댄스 짜신 분. 근데 정말 아예 몰랐는데 죄송합니다. 진짜 몰랐어요. 이제 좀 조심하도록 할게요.
This is the bare minimum, yes. But in an industry where half-assed apologies or no apologies at all, we take what we can get. Now, speaking of shirts, let's talk about Marky Mark, okay? I'm so disappointed because a few months ago, he left NCT and he left SM Entertainment as his what's it called, was up, his contract was over. And all of us were grieving. I was so sad because I was so sad because I love NCT, you know? So knowing that Mark, who was very, like, a very prominent member in the group, like, he was NCT, okay? However, ever since announcing his solo career, there has been lots of things people pointed out about him. And things like his company that he made being a Bible reference or something like that, which I respect all religions and stuff, so I really, like, it wasn't an issue that it was a Bible reference. I don't really, you do you, like, okay, go off. I don't know what that means, but go off, you know, like, but it wasn't until he decided it thought it was cool and vintage looking to wear a shirt with a Confederate flag on it. Oh my gosh. So now he's giving one of those people who use religion as an excuse to be an ignorant asshole, which this day and age we have a lot of those. Mind you, he's Canadian. He has learned about the meaning of that shirt, and his apology was shitty too. It didn't exactly come directly from him, but his company, which he owns his company, so I guess it did come from him, but at the same time it did not seem sincere. Let me read the apology, okay? Let me read the apology. Hello, this is Upper Room. We would like to express our sincere apologies for the concern, discomfort, and disappointment caused by a vintage t-shirt which appeared in a photograph shared recently. The item selected solely as a piece of vintage costuming. However, upon recognizing the historical significance and sensitivity associated with the symbol displayed on the t-shirt, we took steps to ensure it would not be visible in any official content. Despite these efforts, the image was later shared externally, resulting in the symbol's visibility and causing understandable concern among the public. Regardless of intent, we know that this matter should have been handled with greater diligence and care. We take responsibility for this oversight. Upper Room and the artist. I don't know what that means. Reject and do not tolerate racism, hate, discrimination, or any form of intolerance. We understand the gravity of the concerns that have been raised and deeply regret the distress caused by this incident. We also thank those who have brought this matter to our attention. We value the feedback received and are listening carefully to the concerns expressed by our community. In response, we will strengthen our internal review procedures for costume selection and content approval to help prevent incidents from occurring in the future. We offer our sincere apologies to everyone who was hurt, offended, or disappointed by the situation. We remain committed to acting with greater responsibility, awareness, and care moving forward. Upper Room. The flag was used by the Army of the Confederate United States of America in the 19th century during the American Civil War, a period where the southern states advocated for the preservation of slavery in the country. Today, the symbol is heavily associated by racist and white supremacist groups. Yikes! Marky Mark, that's not it, okay? That's not, like... I don't know why things like this are so normalized these days. I think we should go back to, like, throwing tomatoes at people. Which is why when Jungwon apologized the way he did, people were praising him. Because it was not... It came directly from him. You could tell that it was sincere. But to Mark, it was a vintage t-shirt. Vintage costume. Fuck out of my face, bro. Knowing the history behind it is just disgusting. Okay. So, on a lighter note though, Winwin had left NCT/Wavy and SM, and now he's free. We knew that he was gonna leave. Like, the difference between this and, like, say, Heeseung situation, we knew that Winwin was gonna leave, because where the fuck has he been? I know that he's been acting, but he hasn't been in Wavy, you know? There's, like, some Wavy stuff that went on, too. I guess, like, they were doing a tour, and 10 isn't included, because 10 had also left SM. But he stayed in Wavy, so I don't understand why he's not going on tour with them.
I was going to talk about Yunho and his ex's post, but after reviewing what I had, I decided that it was a bit insensitive and triggering to talk about, as the woman mentioned thoughts of unaliving herself and stuff.
So now we're back to talking about HYBE, because they released a teaser or Adore did, released a teaser for NewJeans' new comeback. But like I said at the beginning of this video, at what cost? Because from what I'm seeing, there's still in fact a member missing, and it's disheartening seeing these girls have to go through hell and back only to come back, but not as whole. Regardless of what you think of NewJeans' situation, which I didn't get the chance to touch on when all of this happened, but as I was following along, because like when I started making videos, I think that's when when I started making videos again like these, that's when this stuff started happening, and I didn't know all the information. I think I was taking a little break. I think I literally had a script written up, but I didn't finish it, and so I just never touched on it because I thought it was going to be too late. But as I was following along, when they had that lawsuit situation and the workplace bullying allegations and all that, these girls are still victims at the end of the day. Oh, they did all that because they wanted to, which is what some people are saying. Like, I don't understand, and I'm saying this as somebody who also likes all these groups, like numerous groups under HYBE. Why are people glazing the company? Like, chances are your faves are probably also not having the best of time there, unless like they're unbreakable. But even like the big dogs in the company, like BTS, like I bet. I remember when I was like really deep into like army lore and stuff, and I don't pay attention to that anymore. I don't really listen to BTS as much as I used to. I do like some of their music now too, but I'm not gonna touch on that. That's not what this video is about. But a lot of their fans have been attacking NewJeans because they're like upset that they were attacking Bang PD. Which, guys, please, like, he would sell BTS if he had the chance, okay? Open your eyes. Open your eyes, okay? See your faves as people, please. Who gives a fuck about the company, okay? Anyway, so them being like, oh, but they did all of that because they wanted to. They wanted to, like, leave. They wanted to join the company. They wanted to. They were kids. They were kids at the time, too. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, it's like just so true. Like, it's just so sad to know that the adults and the people in charge in their life had failed them, ultimately. And now Danielle is nowhere to be found. Genuinely, what is going on with HYBE, though? I wonder what the potential cover-up this could be for, because I'm, like, sitting here, like, I'm not saying that there's definitely a cover-up, because I don't know that. I mean, I'm not even saying that, like, just to not get sued, but, like, also just, I genuinely don't know if there really is, but it kind of seems like there is something going on internally, and that this is a cover-up for it, or if, like I said earlier with the whole Heeseung situation, and how they, with ENHYPEN, they were like, oh, yeah, we're just trying to show the markets that the company's, the group's still gonna strive without this member. And I wonder if they're, like, doing that with their other groups, too, including NewJeans now, too. But also because Danielle had a lot to say about that damn company, and as she should, but I hope they don't harm her. Sweet girl, I hope she's okay. No, but I've been saying this because we got Danielle getting removed from NewJeans. Manon is still on hiatus from Cat's Eye. And there's a lot going on around that too that's just strange. Heeseung / Evan leaving ENHYPEN. A member of Saint Santin also left the group. And they didn't even debut yet. But all this coming out of HYBE and its subsidiaries is just interesting. You know, makes you wonder if something's going on internally, or if, like, cover up for this thing, cover up for that thing, you know? It could be possible. I mean, sometimes, like, big drama will come out and it'll be like, oh, this person got shot and killed or some shit. And it's like, we're just trying to cover that up. Pay attention to K-pop, guys. Don't pay attention to everything else. But I think a good way to distract people if they really wanted to is to bring Heeseung back. Anyway, so am I not the only one who thinks that's strange? Plus, the director came forward and said this in regards to NewJeans' situation, and I can't say that he's wrong. So he said, I don't give a damn about Min Heejin or Bang Sihyuk, but targeting one young person and trying to destroy them, how is that justice? It's just unbelievably idiotic. There should be a limit. HYBE is seriously disgusting. I hope this gets as much media coverage as possible. If you're taking money off kids and building business around them, then at the very least, act like responsible adults. Who is this diva? Like, he's not wrong. Ugh. Anyway, so that's all for today's video. I plan on making a longer video explaining the boys' situation. I'm unsure if it's going to be out before or after I make this one, but there's been major updates with the boys' situation, such as lawsuits and stuff, and but this video would in fact be 20 hours long if I talk about the boys right now. Let me know what you guys think about these topics, because I really am curious to see your guys' takes on any of this. Some of you guys have really good takes when it comes to things like this. You guys are like, oh my god, that's so weird, like, and I really like to read about them. So let me know what you guys think. Let's discuss further on these topics, or any other topics you want me to touch on. If you wanted me to, like, dive deeper into, like, NewJeans, or like anything, I'll do anything. I'm back on YouTube, so I'll do anything, okay? I'll do anything. Also, if there's any other types of videos that you guys would like to see from me, let me know. Yeah. I kind of wanted to do a video. Okay, this is like so random, and if you're watching this far, you deserve a cookie. But I wanted to do a video maybe like once winter time comes, because I think that'll be acceptable to buy the things that I want to buy for the video. Kind of do like a... I've been seeing these like mystery boxes on like Twitter, not on Twitter, on TikTok shop, and I've been seeing them on Etsy, and I kind of want to purchase a bunch of them and just rate them, be like, are they worth it? Like, they're K-pop mystery boxes. They'll come with albums or like freebies or photo cards or whatever, and I kind of want to get like a bunch of those and unbox them one of these days. So if you guys want to see something like that, let me know, because I want an excuse to do that. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I plan to post more now. I'm gonna either post weekly or every other day, depending on if I have content filmed or if there was topics to talk about that week, because, you know, it's all about that. And also, reactions are gonna be on the weekends. I know a lot of you guys like my reactions. My reactions are gonna be on the weekends because those are easy. So if you guys want me to react to anything, let me know. I do have like ACC's music video I didn't watch yet. I'm going to be reacting to that. There's like Ahof's comeback. 17 did something. Jacob's music video. I didn't watch the music video. I need to watch it. Yeah. That's all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.